Welcome to Summarize Science, where we break down the latest research. Developing new medicines is an incredibly slow and expensive process, but a new AI model called Pearl might just change that. Pearl, which stands for placing every atom in the right location, is a new foundation model designed to predict how potential drug molecules will interact with proteins in our bodies. Getting this 3D structure right is a fundamental challenge in designing effective new therapies. Previous AI models have faced three major hurdles. First, there's a scarcity of high-quality experimental data to learn from, which limits their ability to generalize to new, unseen drugs and proteins. Second, they can sometimes produce hallucinations, structures that look plausible but are actually physically incorrect or impossible. And finally, many models offer limited controllability, making them less practical for scientists in a real-world lab setting. Pearl's creators tackled these issues with some clever innovations, and the first was data. To overcome the lack of real-world data, they trained Pearl on a massive dataset of synthetic protein ligand structures. This exposed the model to a much wider range of chemical diversity, essentially allowing it to learn the underlying rules of physics rather than just memorizing existing examples. As this chart shows, the model's performance scaled directly with the amount of synthetic data used, proving this strategy was a major driver of its success. Second, they built a novel architecture that inherently respects the 3D rotational symmetries of molecules. This geometric-aware approach helps the model generalize better and improves its sample efficiency, ensuring its predictions are physically sound. And third, they built in a powerful templating system. This allows scientists to provide the AI with structural hints, guiding the model's predictions and making it a more controllable and practical tool for drug discovery campaigns. So how does it perform? On public benchmarks like Runs N, Poses, and Posebusters, Pearl establishes a new state-of-the-art. When looking at poses that are both accurate and physically valid, Pearl achieved a 14.5% relative improvement over the next best model, which includes Google's AlphaFold 3. Crucially, its success rate barely drops when strict physical validity checks are applied, showing it generates almost exclusively realistic poses. The advantage becomes even more pronounced at the high accuracy thresholds that are essential for medicinal chemistry. At the strict, less than 1 angstrom error threshold, Pearl demonstrated a nearly four-fold improvement over the strongest comparable baseline on a challenging set of real-world targets. This high level of accuracy is not just a number, it's critical for the model to be genuinely useful. As you can see here, a pose with a seemingly small error can still miss key interactions or have flipped rings, rendering it misleading for a scientist trying to design a better drug. Pearl's ability to consistently produce these high-fidelity poses, shown here in pink, is what makes it so valuable. So let's recap the important takeaways. Pearl is a new state-of-the-art AI for predicting protein ligand structures, outperforming previous models across multiple benchmarks. It achieves this through key innovations like training on large-scale synthetic data and using a geometry-aware architecture. This work provides a powerful new tool that could significantly accelerate the design of new therapeutics. More broadly, it serves as a blueprint for building foundation models in other scientific fields where experimental data is scarce, paving the way for future AI-driven discoveries.